Imagine for a moment you're in a tropical forest. It's humid, it's lush, and you come across this organism that's, well, it's basically designed for hostility.
And we're not talking about some kind of mythical beast here.
No, not at all. It's a tree. But this tree stabs you, it poisons you, and this is the wild part. It literally shoots things at you at incredible speeds.
It sounds like something out of science fiction, but it's very real. We're talking about Hero It's probably one of the most dangerous trees on the planet.
It's got so many nicknames that tell the story, right? The dynamite tree, the monkey pistol tree.
Jabillo, possumwood, all hinting at its aggressive nature.
Exactly. So for today's deep dive, we're focusing entirely on this tropical terror, which most people know as the sandbox tree. We're going to unpack its three-part arsenal and explain why you really, really want to keep your distance from this one.
Okay, so let's set the scene a bit. This tree is native to the tropical regions of the Americas. It loves the heat, the humidity. So think places like the Amazon basin.
And to really get what this tree is all about, you have to look at its family, the Euphorbiaceae family.
Right, the spurge family.
And that family is massive. It's something like 7,500 species, and they're found on every continent except what? Antarctica?
That's right. And a lot of them share this one key trait.
Mm.
They produce this milky sap, this latex that's often toxic. It's their go-to defense.
You see it in its famous cousins, like the rubber tree or even the poinsettia, which is mildly toxic.
Exactly.
Mm.
Or cassava, the castor oil plant. This family has a long history of chemical warfare. The sandbox tree just, it took that family tradition and cranked it up to 11.
Before we get to the mayhem, we have to talk about that name, the sandbox tree. It sounds so gentle, so harmless.
It's completely misleading. The name is a historical leftover, really.
From before blotting paper was a thing, right?
Precisely. People would take the tree's ripe fruit, which is this hard, woody, segmented thing, and use it as a little container. They'd fill it with fine sand to blot wet ink on their letters.
I read that receiving a letter full of sand was actually considered pretty annoying back then, in the mid-1800s.
I can imagine. So yeah, the practice died out, but the name stuck around, leaving us with this complete contradiction. The real story of this tree begins with its first weapon, ballistic dispersal.
The grenades.
You could call them that, yes.
Okay, let's get into the physics here. The fruit, when it's young, looks almost cute, like a tiny little pumpkin.
It's very deceptive, because as that fruit matures and dries, it's not just dropping to the ground. It's building up immense pressure inside, turning into, well, a biological grenade.
And we're not talking about a little pop. The sources compared the sound of the explosion to a pistol shot.
It's a loud, sharp crack, and it's all driven by the tension from dehydration.
This is where it gets just unbelievable. When that fruit explodes, it launches these 2-centimeter seeds up to 45 meters away.
45 meters, that's nearly half a football field.
And the speed is what's truly terrifying. Up to 240 kilometers per hour.
To put that in perspective for everyone, a really, really fast Major League Baseball pitch is around 160 kilometers per hour.
So this is 50% faster than that?
Exactly. You can imagine a dense little seed traveling at that speed can cause serious injury. It can damage livestock. It can hurt a person easily.
So why? Why does it need to be so violent? Most plants use wind or animals.
It's a brilliant evolutionary solution for a rainforest. On the forest floor, there's not much wind. And if you rely on an animal, your seeds might just get dropped right under the parent tree, where they have to compete for light and nutrients.
Ah, so this is a guarantee.
It's a guarantee. It ensures your offspring get a head start, far away from your own shadow.
So if it's all about dehydration, how does the tree, time this 240 kilometer per hour launch?
The timing is crucial. It's directly tied to the weather. The capsules almost always detonate during the hottest, driest part of the day. Not at night, not on a damp day.
It needs the sun.
It does. The fruit is made of about 15 or 16 woody sections around a core. For that explosive release to happen, the sources say it has to lose up to 64% of its moisture.
64%. Wow, that's so specific. It's like a biological trigger.
It is. That massive, rapid moisture loss creates enormous tension in the wood fibers. Once that tension hits a critical point, the structure fails catastrophically. The sections split apart with violent force, and that stored energy is what launches the seeds.
Incredible. Just genius, really. But let's say you survive the seed barrage. The tree is not done with you.
Not even close.
You can't even lean against it to catch your breath. Which brings us to weapon number 2. It's spiked armor.
If you see the trunk of this tree, it looks like something out of a medieval torture chamber. It is a fortress, completely covered in these hard, conical spikes.
And these aren't little thorns. We're talking about spikes that are about an inch long and maybe half an inch wide at the base, tapering to a needle-sharp point.
It's the density that's so effective.
Yeah.
On a lot of these trees, the bases of the spikes are so close, they're actually touching, forming this interlocking, impenetrable armor.
It feels like overkill. What's the evolutionary point? Is it just to stop people from climbing it?
It's mainly for larger animals. Think about monkeys, which is where the monkey pistol name comes from, or other mammals that might climb trees or strip the bark for food or water.
So this armor just makes it impossible.
Absolutely. You can't get a grip. You can't bite into it. That conical shape is perfect for defense. It channels all the pressure right to the tip, maximizing the pain.
Like trying to bear hug a bundle of bayonets.
That's a pretty good analogy, yeah.
Okay, so we've got the explosions in the armor. Now we get to the third weapon, the one that's inside the whole tree, the systemic poison.
And this goes right back to its family trait, that toxic sap. The sandbox tree is filled with this caustic, milky white latex. Every single part of the plant is hazardous.
So what happens if you just, say, break a branch and get some of that sap on your skin?
You'll get a nasty, blistering red rash almost immediately.
Yeah.
It's highly irritating. But the real danger is if you get it in your eyes.
I read it can cause blindness.
It can. Temporary but very serious blindness. So even just clearing brush near one of these trees is risky if the sap gets aerosolized.
And then there's the internal poison, the fruit itself. If an animal or a person were to eat it.
Oh, that would be a terrible mistake.
Yeah.
Even a small bite leads to violent symptoms. We're talking severe cramps, vomiting, diarrhea. It's a powerful deterrent.
The sources mentioned that its potency wasn't lost on local peoples either.
No, absolutely not. The sap is so toxic that some Carib indigenous groups historically used it as a poison for their hunting darts.
That says it all, really. If it's effective enough for a poison dart, it's not something to mess with.
Exactly. It shows a deep historical respect for its chemical power.
Which leads to this fascinating paradox. We have this tree that is, hostile on every level, but humans have still found ways to use it medicinally. How does that work?
It's a classic story in botany. The very same chemical compounds that make a plant toxic can, in very small, controlled doses, have powerful therapeutic effects. The poison holds the cure, so to speak.
So even with this tree, we've found some beneficial uses.
Yes. For instance, oil from the seeds has been used as a very, very strong purgative. Extracts from the leaves have been used to treat skin problems like eczema, and other parts have been used against intestinal worms.
And the research is still ongoing, right?
It is. Because it's so toxic, it's being investigated as a potential natural insecticide. And some extracts are used in traditional medicine to treat inflammatory conditions like rheumatoid arthritis.
So a plant that can blind you might also treat your arthritis.
It's an amazing contradiction, isn't it?
It is. But let's circle back to its main strength, that incredible propagation system. When you combine that explosive seed dispersal with its hardiness, you have a species that is just, as one source said, primed for mass expansion.
And that's where a huge environmental concern comes in. What happens when you take an organism this effective at spreading itself and introduce it somewhere new, somewhere without its natural checks and balances?
You get an invasive species, and we have a perfect, if unfortunate example with the sandbox tree in Tanzania.
Right. It was brought to East Africa, completely outside its native range, to be used as a shade tree.
Which sounds so harmless.
It sounds perfectly innocent, but its super efficient seed launching mechanism meant it could spread incredibly fast. The local plants, which didn't evolve to compete with something that shoots its seeds at bullet speed, just couldn't keep up.
And what's the impact of that on the local ecosystem?
It's classic ecological disruption. The Hura crepitan starts to displace native species, creating these dense thickets that change the whole light profile on the forest floor, just dominates the area, and overall biodiversity plummets. It's a textbook case of an evolutionary advantage becoming an environmental weapon.
So to wrap this all up, that's the full picture of the Hura crepitans. You have the high-speed ballistic seeds, the impenetrable spiked armor, and the systemic poison that can blind you or make you violently ill. It's a plant that really, truly demands respect and a very wide berth.
It really does. And the story of the sandbox tree, it's more than just a list of scary facts. It's a masterclass in evolutionary strategy. You've got propagation, defense, and deterrence all perfected in one organism. It's a recipe for success. And it makes you wonder, as we keep moving species around the globe, what other unintended consequences are waiting for us when a perfectly adapted survivor like this is let loose in a new world? That's definitely something to think about.